if you are a runner or a cyclist or you play any sports, you probably have heard that you need to work on your glutes. So you might be doing lunges and squats and glute bridges and Bulgarian split squats and all of the glute exercises, and yet your problem is not getting better. In this video, I'm explaining why your glute work might not be working and what you should do about it. So if you're doing glute work and you don't feel like you're getting the benefits from it, this video is for you. Hi, I'm Catherine. I'm the founder and principal therapist of LSM Clinic. I'm the creator of Creighton Structural Massage. In this channel, I share information about how the body works and simple self-care tips so that you can enjoy your favorite activities and your life as close to pain-free as possible. So you may have noticed that I have a thing about the glutes. We have a joke at the clinic that if it's any problem from the waist down, lower back, hip, hamstring, quads, IT band, knee, ankle, calves, Achilles, it's almost always the glutes, or the glutes are part of it. Like literally anytime a new therapist comes and they're like, well, what should I do about this? Glute activation. But here's the thing. We see a lot of clients who do glute work, right? They're doing lunges, they're doing squats, they're doing split squats, they're doing glute bridges, they're doing all of the exercises that they've been told they need to do, but yet their problem is not getting better. And in fact, the things like knee pain or tight quads or tight hamstrings are actually getting worse. So what is that? Why does that happen? And what can you do about it? Well, one of the things that we need to remember is that when we haven't connected or used a muscle for a really long time, our brain isn't going to really easy just switch it back on. Right? So if you've been going about your life, running, walking up and down stairs, et cetera, and you haven't been connecting to your glutes, when you do a lunge or a squat or any of the other glute exercises that you're trying to do to support your body, your brain isn't going to just start using your glutes because that connection isn't there. And for more about that connection, you can watch, I have an activation series that talks about activating the kind of most commonly underactivated muscles that we see at the clinic. And the first one just talks about what muscle activation is and like kind of the way that I think about it and stuff like that. And when you're doing something like a squat or a lunge and you haven't used your glutes for a really long time, your brain is going to go, oh, well, I haven't used this muscle for years, but I'm going to use it to support the full weight of the human that I'm attached to. No, it's going to use the muscles that it's used to using. If you're used to using your quads and your hamstrings, when you do a lunge, your body's going to go, I'm using my quads and my hamstrings because I don't have faith in my glutes because I haven't used them for ages. The way that I have like an analogy for this, right? Of course I do, because I always have analogies because I love them. Is if you had like a scrawny kid and like a big, strong, clearly works out, muscly guy, and you needed them to carry a heavy box for you, which one would you ask? You'd obviously ask like the muscly guy who looks stronger. And so to your brain, the glutes probably look kind of like that scrawny kid. They haven't been connected to for a while. They're not activating. They can barely get in touch with them. They're not going to switch the glutes on for something that requires you to carry your full body weight. That's why in the clinic, we start just making sure that you can actually contract your glutes. So I have a ton of videos about glute activation, right? So we have the how to test if your glutes are working video that you can watch after this one if you're not sure if you can even contract your glutes. We have a very super simple tip, like a 30-second tip to start building that connection and ways for you to activate your glutes in no extra time. So there's a lot in the glute activation playlist. But basically what you want to do is first ask yourself, have your glutes ever been sore after you've done these exercises? Now, I want to make a point here because there are two places in your backside that will feel sore that aren't your glutes. And a lot of people think, oh, well, I have tight glutes or my glutes are sore because they feel these 2 points, but these points are not your glutes. Your glutes being sore should feel like the whole of the butt cheek, from the middle of the back. So you've got your spine that ends in a V like this, and the glutes attach, and then they go all the way around to your thigh. So that whole space there should feel like it's been worked. If it's a single point in the very middle of the butt cheek that's sore and that's it, that's probably your piriformis. The piriformis is a muscle that overworks when it's compensating for glutes. I have a video about the piriformis, so I'll link it below. The second point is kind of like right at the top of the leg. It's almost like under the crease, if like the bottom of the butt cheek, and then right up there at the bottom of your sit bones. So like when you're sitting down, you can feel your bones in a chair. The right under there, if that's sore, that's your hamstring attachment. So that means your hamstrings are getting tight. So if you feel sore in one of those two places or both of them, that's not your glutes that you're feeling. That's your piriformis and your hamstring. So a lot of people feel sore in those places and think, well, I'm clearly working my glutes because I'm sore in my butt, but those are not glutes. So the first question is, are your glutes sore after you work? The second question is, can you contract your glutes, right? If you're standing up and you're trying to squeeze your glutes and they're not squeezing when you're just standing there, your brain's not going to be able to turn them on when you're trying to do these other exercises. It's not going to happen. You have to rebuild that connection with the body before you start introducing all of these other heavy exercises. The other thing that you need to be aware of when you're doing your glute exercises is that form is everything. I had a client the other week who had an injury in their knee, and they were like, but I've been doing all of these glute exercises to help get my glutes active. And like, he didn't have a lot of glute mass in the glute. And when I asked them to do their lunges, the knee went way past the ankle. And when your knee goes past your ankle, when you're doing a lunge, you're not using your glutes, you're using your quads and potentially your hamstrings. And same thing with a squat. If your shoulders are going way forward of your body, if your weight is really way forward, then you're not using your glutes. So looking at your form is the third thing that you need to do. So this is why your glute work might not be working. You might be having the wrong form. You might not be able to connect to your glutes. And what was the last one? Your body might not know that it's supposed to use the glute in those exercises because it's not been doing it for so long. So if this is you and you're like, oh, I don't think my glute work has been working my glutes, what should you do? Well, you should watch the other videos in this playlist. You should test your glute activation, and you should start slowly with the simple tip, like the simple 30-second glute activation tip, just to start rebuilding that connection. And then you can graduate up to the knee lift exercise. Now, if you are in London and you want to come see us for a treatment, we are all able to release all of your muscles and walk you through the glute activation exercise so you can get your glutes to work. It will also involve your lower abdominals. If you have any questions about this, feel free to leave it in the comment. If you know anybody who's doing a lot of glute work or is having knee or ankle or hip or hamstring tension or quad tension or ITB problems or Achilles problems or plantar fasciitis, they will be helped with glute activation. So please send them this video or just send them my whole glute activation playlist. And if you are watching this and it is before the middle of January, we are doing a glute activation challenge. It's 5 minutes across 5 days for you to get your glutes working again. And so you can feel how it feels if you're running or cycling or walking around or, weightlifting, whatever, and getting your glutes involved. So the link to sign up for that is below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please like it and subscribe to our channel so you're notified as we release more videos, or if you're watching on Facebook, like the page. And I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye.